Hey, what's up everyone? Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids. Today we're looking at this knife, which is the Mako, M-A-K-O. This is also from Wolfe Cutlery. I recently reviewed their Bravo 4 knife. This is a smaller knife compared to the Bravo 4, but an excellent woods knife, EDC knife, camping knife, just general outdoors and utility knife. Let me give you some of the specs. So it's 8 inches from end to end, 3.5 inches for your blade, and 4.5 for the handle. This one is in CPM 3V. You can also get it in S35VN. I got mine with some laser etching right there on the top. If you could see that there, it says ETV. Yeah, there it is, ETV, right there. So you can get yours etched. It does say Wolfe Cutlery up there up on the blade. You're looking at just a little bit under 0.20 inches as far as your thickness. It is a high flat grind there. The handle is thin, but because of the depth of the handle, it is very comfortable for me. So I have large size hands, and this thing has just been a lot of fun to use. I've used it in a lot of different settings. I'll roll in a picture here of me actually having some goat meat the other day. A buddy of mine came from Argentina, cooked it at basically like a half a goat for a bunch of us to eat. I don't have footage of me using the knife, cutting it, but this was my dinner knife that I used for that meal when I was hanging out with a bunch of friends. Very sharp spine, not like it's gonna cut your hand, but sharp enough that it throws awesome sparks for a fire steel. And we're gonna show you this knife in use, and then also show you 2 different sheath options from Country Prepper that he sent to me for this knife. Here's a little EDC type task with this knife, just cutting some cardboard. Obviously no problem for this thing whatsoever. Does a great job. Do a longer cut here. There you go. Let's talk through the first sheath option, again made from Country Prepper. As you can see, we have Kydex here. The knife, as in pretty much all his sheaths I've ever seen, nice real solid lock-in. Listen to this. So that clicks in nice and firm. Nice thumb ramp there for getting the knife out. Easy to take it out of the sheath. You can see I got mine in this kind of coyote brown or tan, and then also put a lighter on the front, and then that's a through knife. I think that's the TI1 there. So that's what that system looks like. So now I got a cutting option, I got my fire option, I got a light option, which I can turn that clip around, put it on a hat, and turns into basically a headlamp at night. Here's what the back looks like. So you can get, a ton of different setups and systems from him as far as whatever you want. We just talked yesterday via Facebook, and we're working on another project for the future with some other knives as well. So I've really enjoyed his stuff. He does a great job overall. Good looking stuff. I like that color contrast with the orange, and then that kind of tan brown, and then the black. And let me show you what this actually looks like on my belt. Here's what it looks like actually on my belt. And again, it's got a little bit of movement. It's not a like full-fledged dangler system with the D-ring, but enough movement that if I'm, lifting my leg up, it's not going to get caught up. And then drawing the knife out, easy to do, and then lock it in, and good to go. So this is a great little system for just being out and about in the woods. It's not a huge survival knife. It's not built for that. But with my lighter, and with my little light there, and then the knife as well. This is how I've been carrying this knife a lot when I've been using it. So that's option number one when it comes to sheaths for the Mako, and again, the sheath from Country Prepper. So here's what your cross draw option looks like. Now I'm right-handed, so this is on my left-hand side. Here's what it looks like when I'm looking at the camera straight on, but reach across, lock in on that thumb ramp or that thumb push, and draw the knife out, and then back in here when I'm all done. You could certainly slide this up more to the front, or slide it more toward the side if you want. You could also, I think with this style, it's going to stick out a little bit, but you could also even swing this all the way around to your back and do it carry the knife in this sheath scout style. But again, so cross draw, reaching across my body, take out the knife, and putting it back in place. The rain is starting to fall here in New Hampshire, so we're going to wrap up our review of this Mako knife from Wolfe Cutlery. You've seen it in the woods, you've seen it do some EDC tasks, you've seen it in the kitchen. I told you I even used it as my dinner knife one night. This thing is great. It's a compact knife. I've been saying this more and more. I like a big, hefty survival knife, but I'm more and more convinced that if you know how to use a smaller, knife this size, maybe 3.5 to 5 inch blade, if you know how to use it well, it does a lot of the tasks that you would use like a really big survival knife for, something that's 8 or 7 inches, something like that. So yeah, I just think it's a great knife, custom made. It's going to take you a little bit of time once you get your order in to actually get the knife, but I think you're going to be really happy with it. Again, mine got that laser etching up there. You can see ETV right there on the spine. Stout, I've used this thing aggressively and no issues whatsoever. Good steel, you're going to pay for good steel because CPM 3V and S35 yen is not super cheap. So you're investing in a knife that I think you'll have for a very long time. Combine this with a quality sheath from Country Prepper that he gives you lots of options for how you're going to get that thing customized, and you've got a really nice setup for getting out in the woods. If you're a hunter, I think you might really like this knife. My man Mr. Wolfe was sharing with me that he's got a lot of background in hunting, and this was actually the first knife design that he came up with because he wanted something that served his purposes. But a lot of what he was doing was not just in the military, but also out in the woods, hunting, fishing, etc., things like that. So you've also got options when it comes to what your handle is going to be. So this is the G10 that I asked for, but you can get my Carter. There's a bunch of other options that he's rolling into his various knives, and he's continuing to expand what he's offering. So if you're like, hey, I'd really like this color in my Carter, he might be able to get it. So just reach out to him. Again, Wolfe Cutlery over on Facebook right now is the best place to go to get in contact with him. Wolfe, W-O-L-F-E, Cutlery. A couple other final features I'll mention is that I said this before, the handle is thin, but because of the depth, it's just a really nice size for me. I was using a knife the other day that it was thin, but it wasn't deep enough, and so my hand was kind of crumpled up like this, and it just was not comfortable to use. So yeah, compact knife and smaller handle, but still very comfortable again for me with large size hands. And you've got a little bit of contouring. You can choke way up. Got those little scallops there to kind of get up and do some detail work. If you had to clean out a fish or gut an animal, this could certainly be a knife that you could use to do some of that more some more of those fine tasks or that detail work. Alright guys, we've been talking about the Mako from Wolfe Cutlery. I've enjoyed this knife a lot. I'm going to continue using it. As always, I'll report into you if there's anything that stands out even more or any issues that come up with it. The other thing I'll mention to you is that, if you're ready to make the investment in a knife that could be a really not just your generation for you, but pass on to the next generation, this could be a knife that's worth checking out. Last thing I'll say is that you're supporting a veteran, which is great. So Wolfe has served in the military in various forms, and yeah, just great to be supporting somebody who's put their life on the line for our country. So check him out, Wolfe Cutlery over on Facebook, and he's got a website that's coming online soon too, and when that gets online, I'll put links down in the description section for that. Thanks as always for checking out the videos. Got a couple more queued up for you right here. Please subscribe to Everyday Tactical Vids if you haven't done so already. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Check us out on Instagram and Tumblr as well. More videos coming soon. Take care.